Welcome to PMPA's Final Cut of the Week, where we share important information you may have missed while you were making essential parts. I'm Kate Corella-Smith.
And I'm Joe Jackson. And this is what you need to know for the week ending November 15, 2024. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Index in the U.S. rose to 93.7 in October 2024, the highest in 3 months, up from 91.5 in September and above predictions of 91.9. 25% of owners reported positions they could not fill in the current period. 23% of owners reported inflation as their number one concern. Our take? With election season over, optimism should continue to rise. Elections breed uncertainty, which weighs on optimism. Optimism turning positive before the elections is a good sign we are headed in the right direction.
Inflation in October moved up 2.6% over a year earlier, the first move up in the last 7 months. Inflation was 0.2% month over month, which equates to 2.4% annualized rate. Core inflation remained the same at 0.3% over September and 3.3% over a year ago. Inflation is remaining stubbornly high. A 0.3% core reading annualizes to 3.6% per year if the trend is maintained. There continues to be too many dollars chasing too few goods. The Fed's recent decision to cut rates again will add fuel to the fire.
The Federal Reserve cut interest rates 25 basis points at the most recent FOMC meeting. The committee reiterated their strong commitment to maintaining inflation rates of 2% and maintaining full employment. With inflation rates starting to stabilize, the recent Fed rate cuts may have been a little premature. Inflation had been declining. Now we have the first increase year over year in the last 7 months. Time will tell if inflation has been stalled or if it is remaining sticky.
AI is now learning to smell. Teaching a computer to smell goes deeper than just that funky odor coming from the trash can. Smell is the process in which volatile compounds reach our nose and we recognize them as smell. Osmo is using AI to sniff out counterfeit products, in this case, sneakers. Using AI to map molecules emanating from objects could have vast industrial applications. Detecting when coolant is going bad, detecting burning on circuit boards before failure, and even early warning systems for fire in a building. Technology like this can help us find issues before they become major problems.
In case you missed it, these are the topics discussed on the PMPA's listserv communities this week. Multi-spindle layout training program, looking for a small quantity of alloy 50 and 3/4 inch bars, the PMPA tax survey, and PMPA 2024 Elections and Public Policy Update webinar with Omar Nashashibi. PMPA members may ask and answer questions on our powerful listserv communities by going to pmpa.org.
On this week's Speaking of Precision podcast, Miles Free, Carly Kistler-Miller, and David Wynn discuss 5 safety contacts to make to immediately improve safety in your precision machining shops. This podcast and our Speaking of Suppliers podcast can be found on major podcast platforms or pmpa.org.
And now it's time for our weekly tip. Keeping parts costs down is essential for a viable precision machining shop. We have 5 buyer decisions that can increase part costs. To learn more, go to pmpa.org's Knowledge Centers or Final Cut of the Week.
And that's our take on what you need to know for the week ending November 15, 2024. For additional information and links about any of the topics discussed today, go to pmpa.org and click on Final Cut of the Week.
Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next Friday.